Glad to see you on my channel. If you're tuning in for the very first time, you are most welcome. And then those of you that are always tuning in, oh my goodness, thank you very, very much. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing the last 4 of the 8 ways of discovering purpose. Oh my goodness, I can talk about purpose and discovering purpose all day long, you know. So it's very important to know that we need to discover why we are here on earth, all right? So that we make our contribution, the real contribution that we're supposed to make to humanity. So without further ado, let me go to the first point, and it is your potentials. So every person that is being created by God has potentials, God-given ability. Now, you are born with your potentials, okay? There is no school where people are taught uh, to where people are taught abilities. You are born with it, okay? I want you to just imagine people who draw, for example, fine artists. There is no teacher that is good enough to teach another person to draw. If someone is an artist, they will always be an artist. People are born with abilities, so it's very important that you discover what those abilities are, because those abilities are your advantage in life. So look at fish. It's born with an ability to swim. Look at birds in the air. They're born with an ability to fly. They don't go to school to learn to fly. And I think this is one of the mistakes that we make in our system, in our society, trying to teach people abilities. People are born with abilities. So in discovering your purpose, it's very important that you take time and find out your God-given abilities. Abilities like writing, abilities like creativity. There are people with abilities, for example, like playing soccer, playing games, swimming. Now, those abilities are a clear indicator that that's what your purpose is. There are people who are very good at speaking, all right? So take advantage of those abilities, because those abilities are actually why you're here. The world needs to benefit from that ability. Look at people like Cristiano. Look at people like Messi. Generally, in sports, they make our world beautiful because of their abilities, okay? So it's very important that you take time and discover what your abilities are. I advise you to take time and, write a list of the things that you feel you are able to do, all right? And then pick out one where you find most passion, and then heavily invest in it, especially if it adds value to people, okay? Because in the end, I know it's very important to discover what our purposes are, but in the end, we want to live a good life on earth. So it's very important that you invest in that ability, which will translate into value for people. Your abilities are an indicator that actually that is your purpose, or your purpose is connected directly to your abilities. Then the next one is where you realize grace, all right? Now, grace is simply capacity. Of course, grace is multifaceted. There are many ways to define what grace is, but for this particular episode or topic, grace is simply capacity. Now, I want you to imagine trucks, for example, that carry cargo, or ships, or planes, and then a small saloon car. So imagine trying to get cargo and, putting it on a saloon car. It won't be able to carry that cargo because it does not have capacity. So the area where you realize you have capacity is a serious pointer of what your purpose is, okay? Other people might try to do what you do, all right? But there is just a way that you do what you do that stands out. So normally, when you find yourself always excelling in an area, it's an indicator that's your purpose, that you have capacity to deliver in that area. So, and let me actually also make this point, that if you realize that you are in a place but you are always struggling to deliver, every time you struggle to deliver, especially if you've got the right training, all right, and you have the right resources, but you are failing to deliver, many times it's a sign that you don't have the grace in that area. So now, in such a situation, then you have to reconsider, because when it has to do with purpose, you will always find grace. You will always have capacity to deliver accordingly. The next point is creativity. All right. Now this is kind of connected to the last point I've just shared, but because I want to make this so clear to us, I felt it important to bring it out as a singular point. Now, creativity is a serious indicator of purpose. I want you to imagine fish. Fish can swim with all strokes, you know, at different speed, with a lot of ease. All right, it's very creative in water. The same thing with birds. They fly with ease. All right, they can flap, they can turn, they can fly in many ways. It's because it's part of them. Okay, they're born to fly. Fish are born to swim. When you try to get fish from water and you put it on the ground, it will die, because it is not created to live uh, in a dry place without water. So every time you find yourself struggling to be creative in a field, that's a serious indicator that that's not your purpose. Because when you discover your purpose, it's like there is a portal of creativity that is activated in you. Look at very good athletes. Look at very good sports people. Who don't want to watch Messi? Who don't want to watch Cristiano? Who don't want to watch, you know, those very good footballers? Okay? So normally, when you're very creative in something, that's a serious sign that that's your purpose. And then lastly, fulfillment. Wow. This sounds so simple. Serious indicator of whether or not you found your purpose. Now, we live in a world where people wake up every day to go and do jobs that they don't love. Okay? They have commitments that they don't love. One special thing about our purpose is that when you really discover what you're born to do, you will always find fulfillment in doing it. Think about people, for example, who do wrestling. It's not easy to do to go and you're fighting on a ring and all that. You're boxing each other. But you see a lot of them, even when they get injured, they go they go for treatment and all that, and after a short time you see them again on the ring. Okay, so that just shows you that when it has to do with purpose, there is there is something that you cannot explain, and that is fulfillment. Someone will always feel, I have to be part of that team fighting in wrestling. I have to be um, maybe join part of that army, maybe fighting for the country. Okay, well, in as much as we know that some of these jobs are really complicated jobs, but it is because when these people actually do these jobs, they find fulfillment. So fulfillment is a serious sign of purpose. Every person that has found purpose and is working in line with their purpose, actually their focus is never the challenges they face. It's always, their focus is always getting the work done. All right. So um, if you if you realize that you don't find fulfillment in what you're doing, it's a serious sign that that's not your purpose. So, like I said in the first point, sit down and write your potentials, okay? And then start investing in one of them, especially the one where you're most passionate, okay? And then um, start growing it. Is it business? Start some sort of business with a clear vision of where you want it to be, all right? And then spend time. You realize that actually you'll always have life in that kind of setting. Unlike where I've seen people even quit jobs where they're paid heavily because they don't find fulfillment uh, in doing uh, in doing those jobs. So fulfillment is a serious sign of purpose. Now, I trust that this video has been a blessing to you. So consider liking this video. First of all, subscribe to this channel and also share your comments on what you feel are the indices or other ways, the different ways of discovering purpose. Thank you so much and see you at my next video.